You've seen the balcony garden videos. Someone grows a gorgeous fruit tree on their balcony. The thumbnail looks incredible, and you think you can do that too. So you buy the plant, pot it up, water it all season, and at the end of summer you get exactly 4 strawberries and some very pretty leaves. That's not a you problem. That's a fruit selection problem. Because here's what most balcony gardening content doesn't tell you. The majority of fruit plants that look amazing in pots produce almost nothing without the right conditions. And those conditions are often things you simply don't have on a standard apartment balcony. You might be missing the pollinator traffic. You might have the wrong variety. Or you might have a plant that hates container life, even though the internet swears it's perfect for pots. So what you're getting today is the short list. The fruits that genuinely, reliably produce a real harvest from a pot on a balcony. Not just a pretty plant with a fruit-shaped hope attached to it. No fillers, no plants that technically work, but give you 6 pieces of fruit per year. Just the ones actually worth your space, your money, and your time. If you watched my lemon tree video, you already know that growing fruit in containers is absolutely possible when you pick the right variety and match it to your space. Today, you're going beyond lemons, and some of these are going to surprise you. The first thing you need to understand is why most balcony fruit disappoints in the first place, because if you don't know this, you'll make the same mistake with whatever plant you buy next. There are 3 killers. The first is pollination. Most fruit plants need insects to transfer pollen between flowers to set fruit. On a ground-level garden, that happens automatically. On a 5th-floor balcony with limited foot traffic from bees, you might be waiting for pollinators that simply never arrive. That's why self-fertile varieties, plants that can pollinate themselves without cross-pollination from a second plant, are non-negotiable for balcony growing. The second is variety. Take blueberries as an example. There are hundreds of blueberry cultivars, and some of them need 4 to 6 feet of root space and cross-pollination from a completely different variety to produce anything. Others are bred specifically for containers and will produce prolifically in a 12-inch pot. If you've bought a random blueberry from a hardware store without checking the variety, you've bought a lottery ticket. The third is root restriction, and this one is counterintuitive. Some fruits actually fruit better when slightly root-bound in a container because the plant prioritizes reproduction over vegetative growth. Others shut down fruit production completely when their roots can't expand. Knowing which is the difference between a productive balcony garden and an expensive green decoration. Every fruit on this list clears all 3 of those hurdles. You're starting with strawberries because they're the entry point that earns this niche its credibility, and they earn it for good reason. A single strawberry plant in a reasonable-sized pot will give you fruit within the first season. You don't wait years for establishment. You don't need a huge container, and you don't need to worry about cross-pollination because strawberries are self-fertile. If you choose an everbearing variety, something like Seascape, Albion, or Everest, you're not getting one flush of fruit and then waiting 12 months. These are technically called day-neutral varieties, meaning they produce fruit continuously regardless of day length, and you're picking strawberries from late spring all the way through to the first frost. The setup is straightforward. You want a pot with excellent pot drainage, and I mean actual drainage holes in the base, not just a loose growing medium, because strawberries hate sitting in wet soil. A 30-centimeter pot fits 3 to 4 plants comfortably, or you can use a hanging basket and let the runners trail down. Use a quality potting mix with some perlite mixed in at roughly 20% by volume for drainage and aeration, and make sure you're getting at least 6 hours of direct sun. Here's your yield reality check. With 4 plants in a decent pot, in a good sunny spot, you can reasonably expect 200 to 400 grams of fruit per week at peak production. That's not going to replace your grocery shop, but it's fresh strawberries on your morning yogurt every single day of summer. And the flavor of a sun-warmed, homegrown strawberry versus the pale, flavorless ones in a plastic punnet is not even a comparison. One thing to watch. Birds love strawberries more than you do. Get some netting sorted before your fruit starts ripening, or you'll be feeding the local wildlife instead of yourself. The second fruit is one that surprises people every single time, and it's become one of the strongest recommendations I give to balcony growers, particularly if you are in a warmer climate or a sunny position. Figs. Figs don't just tolerate container growing, they actively prefer it. In the ground, a fig tree puts the majority of its energy into root expansion and vegetative growth, and it can take years to produce fruit. When you restrict the roots in a container, the tree reads that constraint as a signal to reproduce. It stops trying to take over the garden and starts producing figs instead. Root restriction is your friend here. You want a self-fertile variety. Brown Turkey and Celeste are your go-to options in most climates, and they are widely available and reliable producers. Plant into a good-sized pot, around 40 to 50 centimeters, with a well-draining mix. Figs are drought-tolerant once established, which makes them genuinely low maintenance compared to almost everything else on this list. They will drop fruit if you let the soil go bone dry repeatedly, so you are aiming for consistent, moderate moisture rather than constantly wet feet. The yield from a well-managed container fig is genuinely impressive. A mature plant, and that is 2 to 3 seasons in, can give you 20 to 50 figs in a single harvest. The flavor of a fresh fig eaten warm off the tree on your own balcony is something most people have never actually experienced, because fresh figs do not travel well commercially. That is one of the real arguments for growing your own. Sun is non-negotiable for figs. You need a minimum of 6 hours, and 8 is better. If your balcony faces south or west and gets full afternoon sun, a fig tree is probably your highest upside plant. Third on the list is blueberries, and they make this list with one specific condition attached. You need to get the variety right. The reason blueberries actually suit container growing is that they require acidic soil at pH 4.5 to 5.5, the ericaceous range. Garden soil almost never sits in that range naturally, so ground-level growers are constantly fighting to acidify their beds. In a pot, you control the growing medium completely. You fill it with ericaceous compost, sold specifically for acid-loving plants, and you are starting with exactly the right pH from day one. The container is actually an advantage here, not a compromise. The variety rule is this: if you are growing one plant, you need a self-fertile cultivar. Top Hat, Sunshine Blue, and Pink Lemonade are all compact, self-fertile, and container-adapted. Sunshine Blue is particularly worth knowing about. It is a low-chill variety that needs only around 150 to 300 chill hours, which means it performs well in milder climates where traditional blueberry varieties simply will not fruit. If you are in a warmer region, that distinction matters enormously. If you have room for 2 pots, you can mix any 2 varieties, and the cross-pollination will dramatically increase your yield, often by 30 to 50%. 2 plants also means a longer harvest window, because different varieties ripen at slightly different times. Your realistic yield from a single mature blueberry plant in a good-sized container, around 40 centimeters, is roughly half a kilogram to a full kilogram of fruit per season. Blueberries are expensive to buy fresh, so the return per square foot of balcony space is genuinely high. One thing to stay on top of: water your blueberries with rainwater where you can, or filtered water if you cannot. Tap water in most areas is alkaline, and over time it will push your soil pH up and your plants will start to struggle. If you notice yellowing leaves on your blueberry, that's usually a pH issue, not a nutrient issue. The fourth pick is dwarf mandarins and kumquats, and if you have already grown lemons, this is your most natural next move. Dwarf mandarins are compact, self-fertile, and prolific. Look for varieties such as dwarf emperor, clementine, or satsuma grafted onto a flying dragon rootstock. A healthy dwarf mandarin in a 40 to 50 centimeter pot will produce 20 to 40 fruits per season, and the flavor is dramatically better than anything you're buying at the supermarket. They prefer full sun, consistent watering, and a citrus fertilizer with a balanced NPK ratio. Look for something like a 6-3-3 formula or a dedicated slow-release citrus blend applied every 6 to 8 weeks during the growing season. Kumquats are the underrated pick. They're the most cold-tolerant citrus fruit you can grow, which expands who can realistically grow them significantly. The fruits are small, about the size of an olive, and you eat them whole, skin and all. The skin is sweet and the flesh is tart, and they're genuinely addictive once you get used to them. A kumquat in a pot is also one of the most visually striking plants you can grow. The glossy leaves and bright orange gold fruit against a simple railing are almost architectural. Nagami is the most widely available self-fertile variety, and it's an excellent producer. Both of these plants have the same care requirements as your lemon tree. So if you have already got a citrus routine dialed in, adding a mandarin or kumquat is almost zero additional effort. Most citrus in this range performs best in USDA zones 8 to 11, though kumquats push into zone 7 with some protection, and blueberries on this list extend as cold as zone 4, depending on the cultivar. The fifth fruit is for you specifically if your balcony has a railing, a trellis, or any kind of vertical structure, because passion fruit is a vining plant and it needs something to climb. Here is why it makes this list despite that requirement. Passion fruit is one of the highest yield plants per pot you can grow on a balcony. A single established vine in a large container, 50 centimeters or bigger, can produce 40 to 80 fruits per season once it hits maturity at around 12 to 18 months. That is a staggering return from one plant. Look for self-fertile varieties specifically. Panama Gold and Sweetheart are both self-fertile and widely available. Standard purple passion fruit requires cross-pollination from a different vine to set fruit reliably, so check the label before you buy. This is the one case on this list where buying the wrong variety almost guarantees zero harvest. Your balcony railing becomes your infrastructure. You're running a few horizontal wires or using cable ties to guide the vine along the railing, and the plant does the rest. The flowers are extraordinary, large, elaborate, almost otherworldly, and they open in the morning and close by the afternoon, which makes them one of the most visually interesting things you can grow out there. Passion fruit wants heat and sun. It won't perform well in cool climates or shaded positions, but if you're in a warm climate with a sunny balcony and some kind of vertical structure, this is potentially your highest upside plant on this entire list. The one patience requirement is honest. Your first season is establishment. The vine is putting roots down and building its framework, so don't expect a huge harvest in year 1. Year 2 onwards, it typically goes into overdrive. And if you've grown 1 or 2 of these successfully and you want to push into something more advanced, look at dwarf self-fertile apple trees on an M27 rootstock. Varieties like Fuji dwarf, Cox's orange pippin dwarf, or ballerina column apples are bred to stay compact and can fruit in a large container, 60 centimeters or more, with solid production once established. The caveat is an honest one. Apples take more management than everything else on this list. You'll need to thin the fruit in early summer to prevent the branches from overloading. You'll need to keep an eye on codling moth, a key pest in temperate climates that targets the fruit directly. And you'll need 2 to 3 seasons before you're getting a proper harvest. But the payoff of picking a genuine apple from a balcony tree is something else entirely. A columnar apple in a pot outside an apartment window is a genuinely remarkable thing to have. Here's how to use this list practically. You don't grow all 5 at once. You pick the one that matches your balcony conditions and your patience level, and you start there. If you're a beginner and you want results this season, the answer is Strawberries. If you've got a hot, sunny balcony and you want something low maintenance, go with a fig or a mandarin. If you want the best possible return from a two-plant investment, choose blueberries in matching pots. If you've got a railing and you want something that will genuinely take over in the best possible way, choose passion fruit. And if you already grew lemons last season and you want to expand your container citrus collection, Nagami kumquat is your next move. Every one of these plants can produce a real, meaningful harvest from a standard apartment balcony, not as a gimmick, not as a science project, but as an actual food source you are actually going to eat. That's what this channel is about. Not the theory of growing food in small spaces, but the actual practice of it. If you found this useful, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of video I make every week. If you want to know which of these will work best for your specific balcony, including sun hours, climate, and size, drop a comment below and I'll tell you exactly which one to start with. I'll see you in the next one.